stuff. So
Yeah, no, I think your mouse was there. It just was doing what it does.
I don't know if it was there, man. Cause
I saw it.
oh, you did?
With these, I can see everything. I can see the end of the universe.
Sometimes, man, I wish we didn't work for News 19 because there's some stuff I want to say. When you say you can see,
I can see everything.
there's some things I want to be like. You ain't see.
I see the world.
You see Field of Dreams.
That's right. I see all of it. So did you think? Yeah, there we go. We're up. As people come in. What's up, Internet World? With News 19 Nerds, we're back for another press play here on Black Friday.
Did you do? You put the thing out that we were doing something?
I haven't done that in a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought you were doing it. Yeah.
I've been experimenting to see if it matters. It doesn't seem like it does, which is not good for us. I guess we got to figure out a different tack.
Well, we don't have that many people on Instagram, so.
That's true. Yeah. Who we got here? Carlos De Leon. We got Edward Sanchez, Rayshawn K. What's up, y'all? Happy Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving, if you celebrate it or not. And if you don't celebrate, I guess just happy
Friday.
November 26th, 2021. I'm Michael.
I am Leroy.
Okay. I do like this Clemson get up you got going on here.
Guess where I got it?
Todd Moore? I don't know.
No.
Played against sports?
No.
What?
Played Against Sports don't sell clothes.
Oh, really?
I mean, they do. They sell like actual sports clothing.
Oh, okay.
Like if you play
Where'd you get this from?
This Costco, man.
Oh, okay. Cool. Fantastic. Yeah, we're coming back here for Friday night just talking about a couple of different things. We're talking about Ridley Scott and his comments, and they got Leroy heated. I'm not necessarily heated. I think but I'm more forgiving than Leroy anyway. I'm just kind of like, this old man just going to be an old man.
See, this is the thing. I think what we're looking at it, and I'm going to frame it a different way.
Okay.
And here's the problem. And I'll get to it in a second. Boomer Scott. You're right, Carlos De Leon. Thank you. That's how we're going to frame it. Because...
Okay.
F it. Let's get into it. So here's what Ridley Scott said. He went on Mark Maron's podcast. And here's the headline from Variety. Salome Hailu?
Hailu, maybe.
But that is Salome, right?
Maybe.
A long O on the M.
Salome, maybe.
All right.
I don't know.
Ridley Scott blames millennials for Last Duel box office failure. There we go, mouse. I'm going to put the article in there so you guys can read exactly what I'm pulling from. So here we go. Ridley Scott, well-known director. He's directed some of the biggest hits in Hollywood in the last 20, 30 years. His claim to fame ranges everything from Gladiator to the original Alien, Kingdom of Heaven, to Thelma and Louise. I mean,
He did The Martian recently. Well, not recently, but yeah.
Yeah, The Martian. Ridley Scott has done a lot of different movies. For science fiction alone, he's given us Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I say this with all respect. Man, F you. Friend of the show, Ridley Scott.
Sir Ridley Scott.
You're right.
He is
Sir
yes.
Ridley Scott.
Sir Ridley Scott.
So, he's basically coming after millennials for the box office failure of The Last Duel.
Mm-hmm.
He praises Disney because when Disney bought Fox, this film was supposed to come under Fox's umbrella, and Disney saw the script. By his own account, he was like, he did not think Disney was going to let him do this movie. And he says, to Disney's credit, they enjoyed the script. They liked what I was going to do. They gave me basically carte blanche to do what I wanted to do. And I believe that he really likes this movie. The movie stars Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Adam Driver, and Jodie Comer. Mm-hmm. Your Woman from
Killing Eve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the movie didn't do well.
So it did well critically. It didn't do well financially. I think a lot of critics did enjoy it. It just didn't. I think it maybe did like 20 million, 27 million on a budget of 100 million. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's a failure, financial failure. And he said millennials.
He said on Mark Maron's podcast, he went to talk to Mark Maron, and he says trying to find exactly. Here it is. I think it all boils down to what we got today are the audiences who are brought up on these effing cell phones. The millennium do not want to be taught anything unless you are told it on a cell phone. Scott continued, this is a broad stroke, but I think we're dealing with it right now with Facebook. There's a misdirection that has happened where it's given the wrong kind of confidence to this latest generation, I think. Marin said that he thought the time period and action in the film would draw younger audiences. I agree with you, particularly with Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Adam Driver. And this new girl called, notice he said that, this new girl called Jodie Comer. That's the call you make. That's the call that Fox made. We all thought it was a terrific script and we made it. Scott responded, you can't win all the time. As far as I'm concerned, I've never had one regret on any movie I've made. Nothing. I learned very early on to be your own critic. The only thing you should really have an opinion on is what you just did. Walk away, make sure you're happy, and don't look back. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
He also talks about another box office flop, Blade Runner. We can get into that another day because I disagree with him on that as well, but that's a topic for later because I'll get into that a little bit. But what do you think? Because I have a very...
I just feel like it's a sign of the old guard of directors, kind of in the same way when Scorsese was bashing superhero films. It's the old guard in the way they did things. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't speak from it, but I've read the critic reviews and the people that I enjoy their criticism of movies. I would probably agree with what they're saying. It seems to be a pretty good movie. It seems to be a hard movie to watch, a hard movie to digest, and I wonder if people just didn't want to deal with that in a pandemic world. I don't think, of all the reviews that I read, nobody said anything about it being a bad movie mechanically or anything, so I just think people maybe just weren't into that type of movie.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you get on. You let it loose. Yeah, give me a KO can. Get your spirit bomb. Yeah.
Oh. Ridley Scott, you old dirty white man. First of all, no one wants to watch your rape fantasy movie. Here's the problem with this comment, because he said it in his description of the woman in the film, the way he described the three men. You have Matt Damon. You have Adam Driver. You have who else? Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, yeah.
And you have this new girl.
Called.
There you go.
Right.
That right there tells me how you viewed your actress, in my opinion, because you didn't thrust upon her, hey, come see this new woman coming onto the screen, coming on her own. You didn't say that. You said, this new girl called, as if she was an item, a thing.
Yeah.
And here's the thing that I noticed. The movie's called The Last Duel. The movie is about basically rape Rashomon.
Sure.
And two dudes fight over it. In 2021, stop using the trope that women are items that are used and abused, and it's told from the personality or the point of view of a man. And that's why no one wanted to see your movie.
Okay.
Because here's the thing.
When was this movie originally supposed to come out?
I don't know.
Pre-pandemic? I'm curious.
Why?
Because the Me Too movement was not as strong as it was back then. And I wonder if people would have been people who were trying to be on the P's and Q's.
Hold on. Let me stop you. The Me Too movement's been around for over a decade.
I didn't say it didn't exist. I said it wasn't as strong.
I would say the Me Too movement was strong when this movie was originally supposed to come out.
Okay.
Because here's the problem with Ridley Scott. And this is a problem I have with a lot of these people when it comes to these movies, in the sense of they make them and these vehicles. And we've talked about it. This isn't something new. Why did you not like Deadpool 2? You do.
I don't remember.
You do. You said the beginning of the movie already turned you off, and after that it was hard to get you back. What happened in the beginning of Deadpool 2?
Oh, when they killed my girl?
There you go. And why was that a problem for you?
Well, because it was a trope of killing females and whatever. But that wasn't. Was that Deadpool 2 I was talking
That
about?
was
I
Deadpool
thought I
2?
was talking about that for like MCU movies.
That's
Well, any movie, honest. I guess that's the issue.
See where you going? Keep
Yeah.
going, man. Keep pulling that. That's my problem with this. You don't see the problem in your film in the sense of, in 2021, you want to show a violent rape scene, not once, but twice, and show this woman basically getting beat up, and then having two dudes fight over it at the end of it. You don't see that as a problem. And that's the problem with his comments, that he's blaming millennials when it's to talk about nobody wants to learn. Ain't nobody crapping on House of Gucci. People are going to see House of Gucci. Matter of fact, it made money this past weekend.
Question for anybody in the chat: did anybody see this movie, The Last Duel? And just give us your opinion on it if you saw it. I'm just curious.
So,
Because we have a pretty wide age range, I think. Or we have like older people for sure, and I think we have some younger people as well. So I'm just curious if any of them saw House.
but that's my problem with his comments in the sense of,
He's just out of touch.
but it's not. But this is the thing. It's not just out of touch. It's as things change, as society changes, as language changes, as we as a civilization change, you have to change with it. How did you found out? How old is this man?
83.
83 years old.
That man's not changing.
But here's the thing.
He should. He ain't gonna.
Here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Then you ain't gonna make no more movies. Watch this. If you can't make movies that makes money and you don't own your own studio, you ain't making any more movies.
Maybe not big movies.
Somebody
Somebody will hire Ridley Scott.
guess what?
What?
And he not getting $100 million again.
I mean, probably not. Really.
Not unless House of Gucci comes up with some money sometime soon.
Yeah, but
and
I mean, he can.
and that's why he's going to end up doing, guess what?
What, straight to DVD?
TV
Or
shows.
Straight to home?
Nope,
movies?
because he's behind the new Blade Runner TV series, and he's behind the new Alien TV series. But remember, he's the reason why we found out that the Alien movie that we were supposed to get, that came after Aliens, Alien 3, that was supposed to bring back Sigourney Weaver with Neil Blomkamp, got shot down. Why? Because of his crappy Prometheus trilogy.
You really hated Prometheus.
I hated it because what it was and what it gave me, and it wasn't what I wanted. And I went to your movie, midnight showing. I paid tickets, sir. Bought my sister a ticket. I still own it. I own the steelbook of that movie.
Wait.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You saw the movie, didn't like it, and you still bought it?
I like what it represented.
Uh-huh.
I still like certain parts. But
You part of the problem. You gave him money on the back end.
because here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
The Prometheus had potential.
Okay.
I didn't like it for what it was, but I was like, let me see where he goes. Let me give the money. So because there's certain parts of it I love. I love the design. I love the idea of what he tried to do.
Okay.
Then Alien Covenant came, and I was like, oh, you bastard. Oh,
So
no.
Prometheus wasn't just it was,
Yes,
this was,
yeah, see,
yeah,
and
it
so-
wasn't a one-off.
That's what I was mad about.
Uh-huh.
Because I was like, well, maybe this was his Dune. He was giving us setup to give us this huge thing at the end to get us to LV-426.
Uh-huh.
Maybe that, and I said, you know what, Ridley, you haven't done us wrong. You gave us Kingdom of Heaven. You gave us Gladiator, Blade Runner. You gave us these movies. I'm gonna believe in you. And he let us down.
He let us down.
He let us down.
Fair enough.
So what I'm saying is, it's not just it's a generational thing, but it's also a sense of, you're an 83-year-old man who is talking about women and directing women and not understanding that this is not going to go over in this new... Has nothing to do with cell phones, because guess what? People are going to go see House of Gucci. So explain to me, why are they going to see House of Gucci and not The Last Duel?
Yeah. I mean, I can say this. I have no plans to ever really see that movie.
Because here's the thing. It wasn't millennials who let you down, because it's older people your movie is skewed towards. Older people didn't support your movie because older people are the people who are susceptible to the virus. And you ain't said one word about old people who let you down. You ain't come for them. It's easier to come from millennials. This whole idea of crapping on a generation of people who have changed how we do things is so played out. I'm so tired of it.
Sure.
And I'm so tired of these old white dudes continuing to crap on stuff just because they don't get it and they're not part of the cool kids anymore. And that's all it is. It's all Scorsese's doing. And then also you have a whole genre of people who are trolling us, the nerds, by asking people, so would you direct a Marvel movie, knowing it's going to get a reaction, a rise, or somebody's going to say no. And that's what we've come to. We've come to this point where the nerds, our stuff is now mainstream, it's now pop culture, and it's not what the cool kids want. Mm-hmm. They want to keep making their straight white male visions for themselves.
Sure.
Because people always ask Jordan Peele, why are you not making movies with white leads? Why aren't you asking that of Steven Spielberg? Why are you not asking that of Ridley Scott? Christopher Nolan just now did a movie with a black male lead. Mm-hmm. He didn't even have a name.
He didn't?
So
was he the protagonist?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're not asking these men. Why are you asking? And that's my problem with these comments. They're not just a generational thing. It's a thing of them holding on to this idea of what they believe what the stories we should be introduced to. And that's what I noticed in these comments. Because here's the thing. You didn't have the nerve to say that anywhere else. You said it on a podcast where Mark Maron wasn't going to challenge you. Mm-hmm. Say that in a press junket.
Sure.
Bring that same energy when you doing press for this movie. Because watch this.
That wouldn't be the same.
Nope. Because when the movie comes out, it came out in this market, right? When every time you have to promote this movie, keep that same energy.
Well, nobody does that.
That's my point. If you mad, say you mad. But here's the thing.
But you're not going to say you mad while you promoting the movie. But I don't feel like that works for your argument.
It works in the sense of your argument is it was millennials. Mm-hmm. Bank 757. We know who directed Exodus: God of War, Gods and Kings.
Who did that? Was that Ridley Scott too? Oh man.
See where I'm going?
Rest in peace, Chadwick.
Remember? No, that's not Chadwick Boseman. You're thinking of Gods of Egypt. Two totally different movies.
Which one's Exodus: Gods and Kings?
That's the one about. Go look. You don't remember?
No, clearly not. I thought it was the other one.
That's the movie where he was like, I can't put black people or people of color in these roles because the movie won't sell. And then Black Panther came out and then he got quiet.
Okay.
So, let's call a spade a spade. That's what I said. It's generational.
I forgot about this movie.
I didn't.
I totally wiped this movie from my mind.
I did not.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
See, now you see why I had heat for him. Now you see why because this is the thing. Every time something doesn't work, you coming for somebody else.
Yeah.
You talk about be your own worst critic. Okay, your movie was good. If it was directed the same time Cleopatra came out, and we was what's the old girl for White Diamonds?
Is it Liza Minnelli?
No, sir.
Liv Taylor. No, Elizabeth Taylor.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Leroy's on his soapbox today.
Yeah, I just let him go rampant today.
Because that's the thing. Because what pissed me off was I like Ridley Scott. I enjoy his movies. I never saw Exodus, King, God, whatever that was. Mm-hmm. White People's Egypt. I never saw that. Is that not what it was?
Help me out, chap. What's the Disney movie?
Prince of Egypt.
Yes. Okay. Because now I'm just thinking of that. Okay, got it. Cool.
Well, what's the two dudes? I love the memes when he was like.
Okay. Cool.
You got anything else you want to say about this man?
Nah, man. That's the problem I have with this, and this is the thing that I'm always upset about in this day and age. Be honest.
Sure.
Just say I wanted to cast white people, man. Yeah. You know what? I ain't even gonna be mad. Yeah. I just want to be just say, look. I just want to work more friends. Because that's what some people say. When you look at some of the movies, Tim Burton straight up says it. I just want to work with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's hip. I just want to work with Johnny Depp and my wife.
Yeah. Well, ex-wife now, I think.
Oh, they're not together?
I don't think so.
Oh.
But I feel like their houses are still together. They have a weird relationship. But
Hey,
it,
man.
it worked for
If it
them.
works for you.
Yeah.
But this is my thing. Just come out and say, hey, man, I don't know any black people. I just want to work with my friends.
Uh-huh.
And then somebody can say, hey, man, you need new friends. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
But right
you
now,
introduce you to people.
And just be honest about it. That's my problem. Stop blaming other people for your shortcomings.
Sure.
You have made great movies. We know you can. We know you can. Gladiator is one of my all-time favorite movies. Blade Runner, the original and director's cut, great movie. Alien, oh my, really?
Mm-hmm.
You gonna tell me I don't like Alien?
I'm not going to tell you that.
Thank you. So it's not about the fact that Ridley Scott is a bad director.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact of you want to put the blame on everybody but you. And this is the thing. If you would have came out and said, hey, maybe this film wasn't made for this time period. Maybe, take a look. The whole idea of people who don't reflect on themselves and say, you know what? Maybe it's me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no one around to tell him that. And
Sure.
here's my problem. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Adam Driver, loved all of their stuff. Where were you in this to say, hey man, we sure are kicking her ass a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And see, that's where the actors, because don't tell me you telling Ridley Scott, hey, it's going to hurt you career-wise.
Right.
You are three of the biggest actors in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Evidenced by the fact that he cast you in these. You could have changed, and I don't know what the set environment was like. I'm not saying that it was bad. I'm not saying it was good. What I'm saying is no one wanted to see that movie because of these things. You showed a violent rape in 2021 and thought, not once, but twice, and thought people were like, hey, what you doing tonight, honey? Hey, there's this new movie called The Last Duel. Oh, what? No? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Really? And that's the problem I have with this, because this isn't the first time he's done it.
Antoine Allen, Ridley Scott has become the old man saying, get off my lawn.
He's right.
Great legacy in film, but not perfect.
He's right. These dudes, you know who's another one who does this? Clint Eastwood.
I mean, yeah, Clint Eastwood's always been on that.
Clint Eastwood made a movie about, Clint Eastwood made basically an old AARP fantasy that old white people can do a job better than the people who are doing the job, the mule. You literally made a movie that you as an old white man could be a better drug mule than the cartel who was moving the drugs.
Sure.
Really? You thought that was a good idea?
I mean, people gonna make movies, man.
Well, I'm not saying people go make movies. What I'm saying is that we basically have this old guard of people who are basically whining and basically making their little fantasies on TV and on screen, and then complaining because the world has changed and they realize, oh, maybe this little black kid wants to see him or herself, or this little Latin kid or this little Asian kid. They may want to see themselves, and maybe women don't like being put in refrigerators, aka Disney, DC Comics, when they did Jade back in Kyle Rayner's girlfriend.
I mean,
Maybe we don't want to see Infinite Crisis, where we raped Sue Dibney. Maybe we don't want to see that anymore.
yeah.
So maybe get better
I
stories.
think that the world is, for the most part, by and large, agreeing with what you're saying, because they're not supporting these movies. So I mean, it's not like we talked about. I don't think The Mule was like a critically acclaimed, or not even critically.
Banks is saying The Mule was based on an actual true story. I understand that, but this is my point. Out of all the true stories about drug mules, you got me the old white guy.
Well, Clint Eastwood is old.
I understand that, but I guess what I'm saying
Right,
is,
what you know.
out of all of the cartel stories, you decided, you know what? This needs a dude in a pickup truck. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, I think those movies, though, I think audiences are not supporting them, and we always talk about voting with your dollars. I think people are doing that. Maybe not in the video game space as much as we would like, but they're doing it with movies because they're not going out to support them. So, I mean, hopefully that kind of sends people the message, your movies aren't welcome here, nobody wants to see them, so go make your little independent, like, straight-to-TV films or whatever.
and I guess that's what's pissing me off, because these people that I'm criticizing, and these people who I still want to meet Ridley Scott. I still want to talk films with him. I still want to meet, maybe not Clint Eastwood. I want to meet Martin Scorsese. I want to meet James Cameron, Steven Spielberg. I want to talk films with them because they've made some of the best films ever made. Mm-hmm. These men have films that are in the top 50 of films of all time. Mm-hmm. And this is as good as, like, you don't see what's coming. You don't see that, hey, you got this, like, perfect example. Good old Marty, you got to make films about Italian Americans all your life. And you understand how that feels. Mm-hmm. You don't think other people might want to have that same opportunity? And you crapping on the Marvel movies doesn't help your case, because then when I go to my son and say, hey, hopefully these comments will have died down, and he won't go out like this old, curmudgeon, Larry David style, curb your enthusiasm. But I want to be able to introduce my children to these films. And I don't want them to be like, but Dad, he said this horrible stuff about, and that's what I'm afraid of. That these men are going to destroy their legacy because they're at the end of their time. And instead of continuing to make great films with a whole assortment of people, they're clawing to that old methodology of how stuff was done.
That's another topic altogether, because, I mean, not even looking at these people, you can look at, like, some of the famous stars of the great eras of the 50s and 60s, and people looking at them now like, oh, these were not good people.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, I think it's kind of like you said, as society moves on and progresses, people are always looking back at people with the lens of, like, oh, this stuff really shouldn't have been tolerated then.
Some of it we are looking back. Some of it was bad then. Like, John Wayne was bad then. John Wayne, when he did that interview talking about he was a white supremacist, that should have caught people off guard then. But they loved it. The thing is, they were willing to overlook it because it was John Wayne. And that's the problem, that I think we elevate certain people when we should have a critical eye to those people all along. Sure. Roman Polanski is still making films.
Is he?
Yeah. Remember, he made a film and he got nominated, and they were like, is he gonna come back if he wins? And they were like, yeah.
That was like 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
So when you said he's still making, like, he's making 20 and 21 movies?
I think he made a film in the last 5 years. I think, if I remember correctly. Look it up. Look up Roman Polanski made a film recently in the last...
Rayshawn K, do I really think society's progressing with all the crap that's going on now? I personally do think society's progressing. I don't think it's progressing as fast as I would like, but I think more people are standing up for themselves and speaking out about stuff. I think more things are being brought to light, and I think we're finally seeing that stuff. So I do think society's progressing. It just sucks because all the stuff that's, like, been bubbling up under the surface is finally coming to light.
I think it is progressing because you're starting. Ryan Porter, thank you. Woody Allen. And you still got actors and actresses who were like, yeah, I'd still work with Woody Allen. Vanessa Hudgens, she was one of the ones recently who was like, even after all this stuff, was like, yeah, I'd still work with him. And we know Kate Blanchett always worked. Is it Kate Blanchett?
Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett. That was his muse in the 2000s.
Sure.
I think we are progressing as a society. Because when you look at our media,
An Officer and a Spy in 2019.
I told you.
That's wild.
Yeah. Because I saw the trailer for it. And I was like, what did he make?
J'accuse. It says J'accuse. That's nice.
Oh, that's not even the movie I thought it was.
Oh, okay.
There was another movie he made recently. That's what I
Okay.
said. And I think we are progressing. And we're going to get into why I think we're progressing shortly in the next conversation. But I do believe that some of these people, they have a voice. They can either be helpful or they can be hurtful. And these comments are hurtful, not because of the race comments that he's made previously, but because of the generational comments. You make good films, people will see it. You make something good. Will it take time? Yes, it may take time. We've seen movies who were not appreciated in their day. His film, Blade Runner. Mm-hmm. But blaming it on a generation, again, during a pandemic, comes off as an entitled, rich, old white man problem. And I say this again because Christopher Nolan did the same thing. Talk about movies are coming back and we didn't even have a vaccine. And it's like, are you serious, man? In this country alone, 700,000 people died due to complications related to COVID-19. Let's not even talk about worldwide and places that don't even have access to the vaccine like we do here. And you're worried about Tenet, which isn't even your top 5 best movie?
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it. But I like
When I heard the parts that I could hear, I liked it. Still say the movie's
But like I said,
audio's off or
I
whatever.
like Tenet. I like Interstellar. You don't like Interstellar.
I got
but
these.
what I'm saying is that's what you're beefing about.
Love is not a science.
You're right. Love is a math problem.
No,
Yeah, it is.
we ain't doing that.
Love is a math problem.
We ain't doing this.
Oh, I mean, don't. Hey, so you ready? You done? Like I said, that was why I wanted to bring it up, because if we look at the comments in a vacuum without context, you don't realize that he's on a rant of just basically complaining about things because he didn't get his way. And if you look at it with all of the context, with not just him, you throw in Scorsese, you throw in a lot of these other directors, and you look at what they're complaining about, and it's like, yeah, bro, people want to see themselves because these stories mean something. These we as a civilization tell stories, and that's how we communicate with one another. And if one group of people has a hold on the way the stories are told, you're erasing a whole generation, not just a culture of people, types of people, a whole generation of people. So that's the problem I have with that.
Okay.
So we done?
You tell me.
We done.
Okay.
Rant over.
Rant over for now.
Now you get to your...
This is a little bit. We'll switch topics drastically. Have a little bit happier times. What are we thankful for in the year 2021? Not a lot necessarily to be thankful
Really?
for. A lot of stuff could be really crappy for a lot of reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody already brought up one. I'm not trying to touch it again just because it makes me upset thinking about it news-wise. But there are some things that people could be thankful for. Some things I'm thankful for. And as we live in the pandemic.
Yeah.
The pandemic has showed us that there was always this stigma that people can't work from home. I think people have found ways to work from home. Now, content comes out slower than you would like, but people are still able to deliver quality content from home, giving you one-of-a-kind experiences from home, working in different remote areas. That's what I'm thankful for, is that people have found a way to work and give us great quality content. Selfishly, I think it was easy to say 2021 is going to be bad. Not even if you're not even thinking about the pandemic, from a video game standpoint, you're not going to get a bunch of great video games to play. There were a ton of great video games to play this year. Returnal, Ratchet and Clank,
Deathloop.
Yeah, Deathloop. I mean, a lot of the games that are now super cheap on Black Friday.
Halo Infinite multiplayer.
Yeah, the game is actually very fire, but
What?
the Infinite multiplayer.
Oh.
Yeah, it's good, really good. I mean, it's Halo. But I am thankful that people were able to find a way to make this work. And granted, it took longer than what we wanted, and nothing's perfect, but I'm able to have fun experiences with people. That's one thing I'm thankful for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going. That's it?
No, I thought we were gonna kind of ping pong.
Oh, because I have a whole monologue of what I'm thankful for.
Okay.
You ready?
Sure.
2021. We have arrived. Nerds, we have finally effing won. I'm thankful for science fiction.
Okay.
Because 2021 proved science fiction works. They gave it to us.
I don't know what I don't see. Can't see.
So-
What is that?
Battlestar Galactica.
Oh,
sir.
okay.
You knew what that was. So say we all. Here's the thing. They always told us science fiction wouldn't work. People didn't want to see it. It wouldn't sell. In a year, we did not have a big Star Wars release or Star Trek release. We had small releases. And this year, all the tropes that they used against us as nerds to say that the things we like didn't matter, whether it's video games, whether it's movies, whether it's streaming, F them. We won. And you want to know why we won? Because guess what? The regular person now knows what a multiverse is.
Sure.
The regular person now knows what a variant is. The regular
person knows what about an alligator Loki.
There you go.
A kid Loki.
The regular person knows the terms that we have been ridiculed for, the books that we read, the comics, the video games we played, saved us. Mm-hmm. Because we would have lost our effing minds without science fiction. Let me tell you why. In a year, we didn't get anything big from Star Wars. You got the Bad Batch. Okay, whatever. Don't care. Guess what we did get? We got Dune. Mm-hmm. The unfilmable Dune. Mm-hmm. The Eternals. Jack Kirby goodness. You want to go to the small screen? We got Loki. Mm-hmm. You want to keep going? Star Trek gave us Discovery seasons with a black female lead. Lower Decks, animated series. Want to keep going? The Foundation came out. Mm-hmm. I can keep going. Spider-Man No Way Home as a multiverse movie. The Kid from Queens is going to bring the multiverse to everyone.
Yeah. The three kids from Queens, probably.
Huh?
The 3 kids from Queens.
One of them may be from Brooklyn, I don't know.
All right, fair enough. I mean, if Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are in there, but yeah.
But what I'm saying is, in 2021, I remember, and you remember too, because, you know, you old and nerdy. You remember when people told us that these things didn't matter. Mm-hmm. Video games would rot your brain. Sit too close to the TV, your eyesight's gonna go.
Glasses.
So I had glasses before I even had a video game.
There we go.
I've been wearing glasses from back in the day.
Okay.
You just got on the glasses game.
I just got on the glasses game, yeah.
Anyway. But this whole idea that these things, these items, these vehicles for storytelling were dumb or they weren't profitable has been proven utterly false. We have so many stories to tell. And I'm not knocking other genres. How many rom-coms have we had? Mm-hmm. We've had so many that they have actually gone. Rom-coms have now come into our domain. There's they have now thrown in science fiction things into romantic comedies. Mm-hmm. Was it I Feel Pretty? What's the one with Rebel Wilson where she's in a rom-com?
Isn't this romantic? Isn't something
so
romantic?
You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like that's how all of these things that they told us now are the things that they are clinging to when it comes to video games. What was the first thing they said when we started when we talk about isolation at home, and they were like, hey, don't go out, do this. What were one of the things they told you to do? Play video games.
Yeah. Yeah. Find some form of entertainment.
What were one of the things they told you to do? Stream a TV series on Netflix. The thing they told us when we first got Netflix and they were streaming, what is this? Mm-hmm. Those old people, you got them in your newsroom, I got them in my newsroom, who are like, what is Netflix? What is this? We just go to the movie theater and watch stuff. Hold on. I gotta get a DVD in the mail and then streaming?
I've never personally heard somebody say those. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I've never heard.
Are you gonna try to tell me it's never happened?
What I'm saying is I've never heard that phrase in my newsroom is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Well, you aren't in the newsroom a lot.
Okay. Okay, cool. That's fine.
And I stand by it. But that's my point. You talk about what I'm grateful for in 2021. I just finished The Foundation. And I just watched Isaac Asimov's, one of his crowning achievements in science fiction literature. Frank Herbert's crowning achievement in literature, science fiction literature, on not just the big screen, but the small screen. Things I never thought I would see. Mm-hmm. I got to see Gail Dornan as a black woman from a water planet, from a society that hates math and science. I got to see Salvor Hardin in space. I got to see Harry Seldon. I got to see The Empire, played by Lee Pace. Very good. Lee Pace is a very attractive man. When he walks out, like, I believe that dude looks like he would run some shit. He does. He looks good. Sorry I said that, but you gotta watch it. Because you know what I'm talking about. I'm watching. When he walks out, and I'm like, man, they had to kill Ronan. Don't that make you mad?
I mean, it makes me go back and think of, man, Marvel, why you kill all your villains all the time?
See what I'm saying? Yeah. And Lee Pace is pretty good.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I never thought I would see that. And in 2021, we got that. I haven't seen The Invasion, but here with Fitch with Tom Hanks, where he's trying to save a dog with a robot.
That's on Apple, right?
Apple TV.
Yeah.
Mythic Quest. I can go on. What I'm saying is, these are things, if you are a nerd and you are in this culture, and whether you got one foot in and you do anime, somebody brought up Star Wars Visions. Star Wars and anime put together. People been clamoring for that for years.
Yeah.
And we got it. So I say, for me, I'm thankful for science fiction, because that was something in this year, 2021 of our Lord, so say we all, whatever you want. The final season of Final Space came out. Science fiction, that whole idea of the imagination of what science can do, and the storytelling has seeped into everything. Loki, for everyone, says was the best Marvel show that came out this year.
That's what people are saying?
That's what a lot of people are saying. Like,
Interesting.
I mean, when you think about what,
I feel like, I don't know.
'Cause I feel like
it was the most consistent.
it was, and it was the smallest, it was the tightest. So
I am enjoying Hawkeye so far, though.
I've only seen the first episode.
Man, Haley Steinfeld, welcome to the MCU.
Hey man, she was great. A lot
Yeah.
of people forget she was a little girl in True Grit.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm happy for. It's one of those things where it's like, I remember when Star Trek was the nerdy thing and people were like, oh, whatever. And it's like now, it's everywhere. And it's almost like it was worth it.
Yeah.
And I feel like we won. Jack Kirby's Eternals, and I feel like they could have went way weirder. But
if Eternals 2 gets greenlit, then
the
we'll
fact
probably go
that we
weirder.
have the Eternals just, like, for real, I am thankful and grateful for that, because now a whole generation of kids gets to see stuff that it's not crapped on. It's not like they put money behind this stuff.
Sure.
They actually tried and made a good product. The same amount of money they would put behind the Titanic is the same amount of money they put behind the Dune. And that's what I'm thankful for.
Another thing I'm thankful for is working with
Competent people.
working with.
Go ahead and say it.
No, that's not it. It's just working with people like you, being able to do this show. I think is something that I'm thankful for.
Oh man, that's a given.
I say that because people know we actually do work in newsrooms. You work in Columbia, I work in Charlotte now. You know, and for those who do follow the news is tough. Somebody brought up a big headline that happened earlier.
What headline?
The Rittenhouse stuff. Somebody brought that up. And it's, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't even want to talk about it. But, I mean, news sucks sometimes. It's a tough business. Even when you're not even dealing with stuff like that, it can be a grind.
Just the regular everyday murders.
Yeah, it can be a grind. So being able to come down here in this little bunker that we have and just talk about nerd stuff, talking with you about it, talking with the chat about it, having different inside jokes is great. I think I was able to find more nerd outlets for me in the pandemic because I was looking for more stuff. I found more people that I kind of vibe with and I enjoy their stuff. So I'm just thankful to be able to work with people like that and just find that content more readily available now.
IMAX says the next generation got me through recovery and rebuild from Hurricane Andrew. That's what gets
and
me.
IMAX brought up something he was thankful for.
His dad.
Yeah, because I remember
His dad got T-boned. Yeah,
I remember IMAX bringing that up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome.
That's what I love about this stuff is that it can get you through. Like, I did not understand. My father was a Marine, so I did not I understood war, but I didn't understand the human cost of it until I watched Robotech and read Robotech and realized, oh, that's why my mom said that was a stupid statement when I said I wanted to fight in Vietnam. Like, oh, yeah, you're an idiot. You're right. For me, the other thing I was thankful for this year was the idea that, and I pivot from science fiction in the sense of I'm thankful that we won. I'm thankful for it in the sense that now that it's become profitable and mainstream. Like I said, I had a whole theme. My whole thing is like, and I alluded to it before. It's twofold. It's why I'm thankful for somebody like Ridley Scott, who, I don't want to say is, I'm going to say was, because I don't know if he still got it, was a visionary in the sense of he gave us two of the crowning achievements when it comes to science fiction. He directed a movie, an Alien, with a female lead who literally is kind of like what we're dealing with right now. Like, go back and watch Alien. Sigourney Weaver's character, Ripley, was like, don't bring that person in here. Stay in quarantine, yada, yada, yada. And how many times have we all watched a zombie movie and we were like, man, the zombie virus wouldn't spread that quickly. And then the pandemic happened and we were like, oh. Mm-hmm. And it's like you go back and you realize, oh, that's pretty true. Mm-hmm. This idea. And so when you go back and you watch that stuff and you realize like these stories, now with the real world politics that have happened, you can see these things and then they merge now. So it's almost as if hear me out. The pandemic paired with science fiction and paired with everything that has happened recently in the last couple of years, the way we look at language, society, women, culture, race, I'm excited for what is going to happen next. Like in a year, we're getting the final season of The Expanse.
December 10th.
December 10th. I'm amazed at what comes after The Expanse.
Sure.
Yes, we're getting Lord of the Rings, we're getting The Wheel of Time, we're getting another Game of Thrones, all of the other stuff that's already been done. What I'm excited about is what do people create out of this life going forward science fiction-wise? Because I remember we talked about...
So you're not necessarily, I mean, you're excited for IP, like new IP.
Not just new IP, like, and I guess I don't want to break it down to IP, just IP. I guess I'm excited for the idea that someone is going to watch or read all of this stuff that we talked about, that we've gotten to enjoy. Mm-hmm. What comes out of that? Okay. What comes for that future generation who reads comics and comes up with their own idea? In other words, I'm a child of Kirby, Stan Lee. I'm a child of Star Wars. I'm also a child of Image Comics. Mm-hmm. What comes after Image? And it's like, I don't know, because I never could have foreseen Image, much less with the world we live in now. What comes after that? Like, when some kid comes up with a comic idea, does he create his own? Does he do Substack? You know, what some of the writers are doing. What comes next? Because I've said it before, we're living in a golden age of streaming service, of cinema, of television. There's so many different outlets. Now there's a way for any idea or vision that you have to show up on screen, or in print. That to me is exciting.
Yeah. Looking at some of these people just talking
Ryan
about...
Porter says, don't think that you have won. The pushback is coming. I mean, the pushback is happening now. If you look at with any society, whenever there's progress, there is a strong pushback to bring things back to the way they were. But that's just a byproduct of life. You have to go whenever there's progress. There's always those people who are like, this is too much. Uh-huh. Slow down. But that's just life. But what I'm saying is, these progresses that we have, oh my goodness. Yeah, there's going to be some pushback. But then what happens after this progress?
Yeah.
That's the beauty of all this.
Okay. Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. Man, I can keep going. I got a lot to be thankful for.
What else? Okay, I mean, you got more on your chest?
I'm just saying, like, it's like, this 2021 and 2020 was especially hard. But 2021 was harder because it almost felt like, y'all know we don't have to go through this, right? Mm-hmm. There's a simple solution to this.
Sure.
And it seemed like we were dumb on purpose. But I guess I look at it and I say, and even though that enrages me, I also look at the other side of it and say, there is a light. I believe as a society, as a civilization, we will overcome. We will get through this because our stories tell us we will. When you get to the end of the foundation, you realize what the foundation really is, and you're like, oh. And it reminded me when I was reading the book, and you're like, man, this is a lot of doom and gloom. Mm-hmm. And then you get to the end of it, you're like, oh. That's how I feel about us. Okay. Not just the nerds, but as a society.
Right.
We're going to overcome these things. It's always darkest before the dawn. I don't know. Somebody said that, who was a genius.
As soon as you said like this, dude. Anyway,
I mean,
yeah. I think, if I were to put like a bow on all this, I think it's the idea of being thankful for new opportunities overall, and just new, like you said, kind of just new technology, new whatever, just whatever that new thing is, that new frontier that we're all trying to go towards. I just think that's an awesome ideal to strive for. It kind of makes you want to be better and be more tolerant of people, to learn about different things, because you don't know what you don't know, but it's so easy to be dismissive of something without being like
gatekeepers.
Yeah,
right?
let me take a second, breathe, and just be like, oh, what are you saying? What are you telling me? What is this new information? Is this beneficial to me? Does it hurt me in some way? If it doesn't hurt me in some way, it's probably okay. Mm-hmm. For people to have different opinions, it's okay that you don't agree on everything. Leroy and I don't agree on everything, but we still cool.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah. He's definitely wrong about Black Panther, but I mean,
you could have stopped right there. Well, how am I wrong?
You know you're wrong, sir.
And what?
I'm just saying, you know you're wrong.
What wrong about what?
You know you're wrong.
I speak no lies about Black Panther.
Was it Black Panther? I actually might have come around to your way of thinking on Black Panther, but it was something else that I was like, no, I will never come to your way of thinking. I can't remember what it is, but because we had the argument in the newsroom.
Yeah, it was you and Avery about it, right?
Yeah, but I think I wasn't. See, because that got brought up because I was arguing with him and I said the best Spider-Man movies in the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm. What did he say?
I forget. He was saying something else.
Oh,
he was saying something else. I was wrong.
I really enjoyed Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
I told you. I enjoyed him as Peter Parker.
I mean, I think I like them both. I wish we could go back and just change up some things in Amazing Spider-Man 2. That could have been.
Change up some things. I would like to get rid of it.
I don't think you have to get. I think there's good parts in the movie.
See,
you just got to cut stuff out of it.
Here's the thing. The problem that I have with all of these Spider-Man movies is that I think the only one that has done it right has been the Tom Holland movies. Because I don't need to see Ben get Uncle Bill. See, here's the problem with Batman movies and Spider-Man movies. In order for the hero to become the hero, you have to. We already know these stories. They're so.
We know these stories.
Everybody knows these stories.
I don't know that everybody knows Spider-Man's origins.
Yeah.
Knows Batman's origins.
I disagree. Because this is the thing. In this culture, in our culture, as American culture, we don't have the longevity of like a China has.
Sure.
Whereas people don't understand. America's barely 200 years old. There are Chinese dynasties longer than we've been a country.
Sure.
Go back and look up some of these dynasties, the treasure fleets. Like, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, like they say Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing. China. Like, they've been doing it. Like, go back and look at how old Russia really is. Like, these countries are not young. So when I say that they have stories about their gods, about their heroes that are just woven into the fabric of their society. For us, we're new, so our stories are new. Hence why Neil Gaiman did American Gods. This idea of old gods fighting new gods. Now, the show, but the idea, he's spot on. Mm-hmm. In our society, Spider-Man and Batman, Superman to a certain extent, people know those origin stories. There's no need to continue to tell them because you're wasting time. Mm-hmm. When you watch a Spider-Man movie, you know with great power comes great responsibility because he did not save Uncle Ben when he could because he was being selfish and he lost out. And he realized, I don't want anybody else to feel that loss.
But did you know that when you grew up or you knew that from reading comics?
I knew that from reading comics, but the idea of who Spider-Man is so the idea of who Spider-Man is so out there and so much. There are people who recognize the Spider-Man symbol who don't even know who don't even know like who their president is, who don't even know, like, it's almost when you say the stars and stripes, the bars and stars. There are people who don't even probably know who is running their country, but can tell you from beginning to end who Spider-Man is and how he came to be, or who Batman is. I can show you this right here, and somebody can be like, oh yeah, that's Bruce Wayne. His parents were killed when he was a young kid outside of a movie theater, and he devoted his entire life to make sure that nobody else feels that same way. Mm-hmm. Boom, that's Batman. Mm-hmm. You don't have to tell the origin story. Mm-hmm. And that's what I said when it comes to Spider-Man. They got it right with Tom Holland. There's no need for you to continue to rehash that. How do you go kill Ben again? Mm-hmm. There's no need. So those two Spider-Man movies for me got that part wrong to a certain extent. Uh-huh. And if you can take the good and the bad from each, throw out the bad, and mesh them, you get Tom Holland.
Okay. Cool. What got you through the week?
Foundation, man.
Okay. I will watch it this weekend because I think I may be probably on episode 5. It was 10 episodes, so I can burn through that tomorrow. Wash out some hot chocolate. It's gonna be a good day.
Sam Adams and Hawkeye and more Breakpoint. Good Lord, I forgot how big Ubisoft makes these damn games.
Yeah, they want you to play forever.
Son, I am just like in awe of like. Mm-hmm. How big is this map?
Netflix, I want to recommend 2 shows on Netflix. Last week I talked about Cowboy Bebop and how I wasn't feeling it. I have Cowboy Bebop is not necessarily come full circle. Well, maybe not full circle because I'll be back where I started to be 180. I'm enjoying Cowboy Bebop, but it's definitely not the anime.
It's not. They didn't want it to be.
I think the marketing on that show was wrong because they definitely marketed like, this is Cowboy Bebop, and the clothes are going to be like Cowboy Bebop, and we got the same theme song and all that stuff. Once I realized that the show is more like, it's set in the Cowboy Bebop universe, and the characters are there, but they definitely play more towards a comedy, I like the show more.
It's a reimagined. See, this is, you got to go into it. I guess, you didn't listen to John Chu's interview. He talked about, this is the anime and this isn't the anime.
Yeah.
This is a retelling of the story and these characters in a different setting. So if you go into it with that mindset.
And I think it's fine for that, but I wish they would do more things like, don't do the cartoon thing where you wear the same thing all the time in cartoons, so you know somebody's always wearing the same thing because it's easier to animate. That's how the show is too. I don't need you to be wearing the Spike Spiegel outfit in every live action episode. You can wear different clothes. Faye Valentine can wear different clothes. Jet Black can wear different clothes. Because that to me that separates like, okay, this is you're the Spike Spiegel character, but don't do things like in anime.
Let me ask you this, because I don't watch a lot of anime that has real
live action adaptations.
Do they do that in all of them?
They do, and those are closer to the anime faithful than Cowboy Bebop. At least I think so.
Okay.
But I do like the show now. It's definitely not the anime. It's something different. That's fine. But it kind of reminded me of the show Preacher, because you were dealing with a trio of people, 2 guys and a female, that are kind of getting into hijinks and stuff. Now, Preacher is definitely a better version of this, by far, I think. The live action version.
First season. Season 2 and 3, I think.
It goes weird, but I never read the comics, so I don't know.
Basically what happened was they tried to condense all of the story into like one, and then they tried to get it back on track. Season 1 is perfect. Okay. To me, season 1 is perfect.
So it kind of reminded me of Preacher, and then when I thought of that, I was like, okay.
This is the funny thing. Season 1 is perfect, and season 1 ends as the book starts. Yeah, right. It's interesting you bring up Preacher.
Yeah.
Because season 2 and 3 are basically about the books.
But the big show I want to talk about, and I don't know, did I talk about Arcane last week or did I just text you about it?
I told you about it.
You told me about Arcane?
Because I asked you, did you want to watch it? Did you see the trailer for it? You gave me a flippant answer. We talked
I
about
apologize.
because I was like,
you know what? Leroy's usually wrong. Now I'm wrong.
because I was like, because I was telling you,
it is fantastic.
because I asked you about League of Legends, and I was like, I never remember we talked about this.
Yeah, I never played the games.
Neither did I, but I was asking you because remember we just talked about World of Warcraft when we talked about Activision, and you were like,
okay.
League of Legends is now overtaking it. You thought, but before that, I was like, what is this? And you were like, it's League of Legends. I was like, this looks good, and you were like, but it's League of Legends.
I don't think I said that.
You were kind of dismissive. You were like,
You got tapes?
might be in our chat.
Yeah. Find that
But
chat.
you were very dismissive of it because it was Netflix.
I made a mistake. Arcane is so good. 9 episodes. It is fantastic.
It looks beautiful. That
Yes.
trailer. I told you that trailer, man. Because they made they made a teaser and they made a trailer. I
Yeah.
watched the teaser and I was like, oh, I'm so. Because I posted it on our page.
And see, I kind of want to compare Arcane to Cowboy Bebop because they're both based on IPs that got kind of reimagined. Arcane has League of Legends characters in it, but it doesn't really follow the League of Legends story. It's kind of its own thing, and it's almost it seems like it's a prequel to League of Legends stuff, but it is done so well. It's already been greenlit for season 2. Can't wait for that to come out. 9 episodes. If you haven't seen Arcane yet, I encourage you to watch it. It's a lot of fun.
Bank 757 is true. My memory is suspect. But I do remember telling you about Arcane. And I do remember you being kind of dismissive. But then again, you do that with a lot of stuff that I tell you about. And then you're like, oh, I was messing with you to get you riled up. Because you do that a lot.
I do. I can't keep up with it.
Blade Runner anime is supposed to come out, what, the 19th? Or is it already out?
I thought it was already out. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, November 19th. You're right, it is out. I hadn't watched it. Check Alice in Borderland and Netflix. Better than Suicide Game or Squid Game.
True Story and Invasion got me through the week, says Zayla Maru. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Banks. This is what my brother-in-law does with his streaming services. He only keeps like maybe Netflix, and then what he does is when enough stuff comes out on a streaming service, he binges everything on it and then cuts it off, and
That's
then
the way
gets
to do it.
another one.
Yeah.
And then that's how he keeps up with his
Carlos de Leon, your abuelita made some hot chocolate. What she put in her recipe? Let me know.
whiskey.
Is it whiskey? Let us know in the chat.
She put Hennessy.
What she put in that hot chocolate? But yeah. I'm trying to think of games. What am I playing? Halo Infinite multiplayer. I'm waiting on Evil Genius 2. Is coming to Game Pass on November 29th. I'm really excited about that. It's like you get to be like a Dr. Evil, running your own world. You probably love it. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm excited for that to come out. Simulation game where you're evil genius. And then playing Tropical 6. That you get to be a dictator. And you can be a benevolent dictator or an evil dictator. Again, you probably love it. Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about these things. They do sound interesting.
I know they do.
But-
I know
but
you.
I feel like you're like, oh, you would like this.
You
This,
take
this
it.
evil person that takes over everything. Oh, you would like this.
You take it how you want. I'm just saying. Yeah.
I feel attacked.
That's it for us this week. You got anything else?
No, that's it.
Yeah. Ridley Scott, friend of the show, come talk to us. We'd
man.
love to interview you.
I would love to talk to you about what in the hell you were thinking with Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
There we go.
But I am interested to see what he does with Blade Runner TV show and Alien series because they're both supposed to be coming to FX.
Okay.
So, and FX makes some pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested, but man, these comments, boy. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Oh, it's a brand of hot chocolate. Okay, cool. No problem, Carlos de Leon. Appreciate it. You can always find us here on YouTube, also Twitter, Instagram. We've been kind of slower with our posts on those other social media platforms, but we'll get back to it. You know what it is. I mean, people get busy, you know. But it's the holiday, so we'll
Sometimes
bring
I
stuff
wonder
up.
what I'm supposed to be posting. Because
We
like
don't know.
Because like I think like this is cool. I'm like maybe nobody cares about this.
It doesn't matter.
Hey,
Housekeeping stuff. We'll be back next Friday. Friday after that, and then the following week will be on Thursday for the Game Awards.
Oh,
Whenever that is.
I thought the Game Awards is in 2 weeks.
Oh, maybe it is. So maybe
'Cause
next
this-
Friday, and then
Yeah,
the next week it's...
Yeah, Thursday.
Okay, cool.
Because if I remember correctly, yeah, man. Because
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
So in 2 weeks we'll be here on Thursday. Come stream it with us. Watch it on your own. We'll be here live. We got to figure out what time we're gonna start. I figured we'd be like 30 minutes before the show, so we can kind of do prediction type stuff, maybe. I don't know, whatever. And
Because
then
there's a lot of stuff supposed to be announced during.
oh, they also do the pre-show too, don't they?
Well, they do a pre-show, but then there's a lot of stuff that's supposed to be announced during the show. I know that they talked about like if Mass Effect, something happened with Mass Effect, if it won something, they would drop a trailer like.
That's weird because that almost sounds like you already won.
I can't remember
why
if
would you?
I can't remember if they won or if they did something. I can't.
Okay.
Remember, but it was basically they were like, if this happens, we'll drop a trailer. I know Starfield is supposed to be one of the things that they probably think because they said Starfield is playable, so they were like,
Sure.
trailer probably. We haven't seen anything recent from Horizon Forbidden West, so I'm quite sure we'll probably get that. Probably get more from Insomniac.
What? On Spider-Man 2?
and
maybe?
Wolverine.
I don't think we can get anything on Wolverine.
I think we will.
Okay.
No.
Oh.
No, I'm done. I'm gambling days is over.
Okay. You say that. That's what I'll gamble.
I think PlayStation Studios is definitely going to drop something. Because they're always good. I mean, they've got... Because if you think about it, they've been kind of quiet.
Sure.
Kind of dry. And their state of plays have been, So, I mean, you got God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West. We know Ben Studio's working on something. We know... So, yeah, I think this Video Game Awards... I'm actually looking forward to this because of the stuff that was pushed back.
Sure.
Is going to be more polished. And I wonder if that's going to be...
And it's in person.
And it's in person. And I wonder if they're going to be like, oh, if we give them more time, it might be better.
It could be better. It's concept.
Like this like they're going to be like...
Don't do crunch. Good idea. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it for us. See y'all later.
All right. Peace. We're out.
Oh, somebody said we're going to do Hawkeye. We'll probably do Hawkeye at the end, I imagine, instead of doing episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do Hawkeye after episode 6. So there we go.
All right. We're out, people. Where's the
You
stuff?
want the other one. You always go to that one. You want that one. Yeah, there you go. And then you do that.